Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our next live session. I'll be your producer for our session, but before we start, I do have some quick housekeeping. Please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. While we absolutely encourage engagement in the chat, we ask that you please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. Keep an eye on that chat. We'll be dropping helpful links and checking for questions for our presenters to answer. Our session is being recorded. It will be available to view on demand right here on the Microsoft Reactor channel. With that, I'll turn it over to our speaker for today. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, we're right. We're live.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Brian.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I'm so excited now. Woo,
Yeah.
Super.
I just saw on the chat that we hit 155 attendees on this live chat right now. So that's amazing.
Wow. Huge number. Yeah, I can't excite now. I'm really excited now. Super. I'm really hyped. Excellent.
Perfect. So Mahmud, you and I, we're going to talk about the first part of this DP-700 certification guide. Implement and manage analytics solutions. And I know that you are actually you have a slide after this one. But let me start by introducing myself. My name is Brian. I'm from Denmark. I am a Microsoft Data Platform MVP, and I drive a motorcycle, and I really love do-it-yourself projects back home. You can find my LinkedIn tag right there, and I also do a bit of blogging on decode.bi. And if you want to learn more about the KQL language, then go to kql.how. That's my reference guide for the KQL language. I think that's the quick rundown about me. So, but we also have a slide about you, if I could hit the next one here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mahmud actually. Like Brian, I'm Microsoft Data Platform MVP and founder of Momentum Data Labs. And I'm a data architect from Istanbul who loves working and enjoys with data and a good coffee. And I built modern data warehouses in the Turkey. Thank you.
Sure. And people can also hook up with you on LinkedIn on m-ok-. Right. Perfect.
I would love to chat with people. Yeah.
Exactly. But no live chat on the Reactor without amazing moderators. And today we have Charlie and Frank, two close friends of me, and people on the chat. Be nice to Charlie and Frank because they are trying to juggle all 160 attendees with all your questions and all your comments. So they will do everything they can in the possible way to help you with all your questions. If some of the questions are on the higher level of a really good question, they will be piped into the studio and we will answer them live right here on this stream going forward. So if you see questions popping up on the screen and that's your name, then have a small flag ready because we will answer that question live here on the stream as we go along. Today is the first part of the Get Certified Fabric Data Engineer, and next week, October 21, we will talk about ingestion transform data, not Mahmud and I, but other people. And 2 days after, Thursday, we will talk about monitor and optimize your solutions. And the week after, again, October 28, prepare for exam day and open Q&A. And that's perhaps, if you want to attend all 4 of them, that's quite perfect, or you can just jump in and out of the ones that you need. So, perfect. So, Mahmud, we also have some gifts for them, right?
Yes, definitely. And if you are planning to get certified, Microsoft today is offering 50% off for exam. DP-600 and DP-700, but hurry, this offer expires on November 3rd and supplies are limited. So please just go ahead and claim your voucher. It's a 50% off, but be careful, live attendees, check the chat because Microsoft team might have something special for you, and don't miss upcoming community events as well, please. So we will see you at FabCon Atlanta on March 16 and 20. And use the FabLive to save $200 then get ready for Fabric Skills Fest. So kicking off of November 4th, it's going to be packed with learning challenges, and it's going to be fun. So mark your calendars. I will be there. I want to see you, everybody in Atlanta, and stay inspired and keep building your Fabric skills.
Exactly, and I just saw that Microsoft just released the 100 the gift for the live attendees.
Oh my God!
So people in the live attendees, keep an eye on the chat, because you have a tiny window of less than 2 hours to sign up for a full reduction of the price of the certification. But this only fits for live attendees. So, and of course, we are live and we are interactive. So just say hi in the chat and tell us where you're from in the world. If you are, I already see people from Germany and the US and South Africa. So we are all around the world. So just say hi and tell us where you are from the world, so we get an idea of how broad we are. So, so Mahmud, I think this is your cue, right?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Brian. Hi everyone again today. Welcome to our episode 1 for Get Certified series. And in this series especially, me and Brian will guide you step by step of mastering DP-700 Fabric Data Engineer certification. So maybe you may familiarize this series is designed with Azure data engineers in mind, particularly of those familiar with the DP-203 certification. So if you are ready to transition your expertise from the Azure to Fabric, you are in the right place today. So let's get started and let's implement and manage analytics solution with Microsoft Fabric. Can you change the slide?
I'll just change the screen here. There you go.
Thank you very much. So what we will cover today we will discuss how to design and implement scalable analytics solution using Microsoft Fabric. Especially, Brian, this session covers data ingestion in Fabric, integrating data sources and managing analytical solutions and an analytic environment to get the most out of your Fabric architecture. So let's dive in and learn about the skills we need to pass this exam. In this section, we will discuss the fundamental skills and data engineers need to know about the DP-700 and how they are different from other certifications as well. Yes, I would like to talk about briefly about the Fabric role that you see on the slide. So Microsoft Fabric certifications are now fully turned into role-based, meaning each one maps directly what you will actually do in the data team. Starting with maybe already know PL300, it is designed for Power BI data analysts who focus on the data visualizations, DAX, and sharing insights through reports and dashboards. Then comes DP-600, which is Fabric Analytics Engineer certification. It is for professionals who design and build end-to-end solutions using Fabric components like Lakehouses, Warehouses, and Power BIs. So it was previously, we had DP-203, which was Azure Data Engineer exam, but that one has been already retired, as you already know. And finally, the newest one, DP-700, Fabric Data Engineer certification comes alive. It focuses on modern data architecture, pipelines, and optimizations inside the Microsoft Fabric. It will bring the gap between data ingestions and analytics in today's world. So let's learn more about the certification.
Mahmud, we just got a question in the chat about Microsoft asking the attendees how many of the attendees have all 3 of the certifications. Do you have them?
I have, yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Definitely.
That makes 2 of us.
Yeah.
So at least I hope people will be inspired to have all 3 of them, because they will give you the tools and the acknowledgement to showcase your skills to your employer or wherever you are in the world.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah,
yes,
definitely. So Microsoft DP-700, it's a intermediate level certification, and it is specifically designed for data engineers. As you are a candidate for this exam, you should be familiar with the subjects of ingesting and transforming the data, securing and managing analytical solutions, and monitoring and optimizing and analytics solutions. So in a day-to-day task, a people who is a data engineer work closely with data analytics engineers, architects, and analysts who is going to do administration and ingesting like other data engineers. It is going to design and deploy data engineering solutions inside the Microsoft Fabric. So you should be skilled at manipulating and transforming data using SQL structured query language, already also PySpark, and your special topic, Brian, KQL, which is cluster query language.
Indeed.
So let's now talk about a little bit about the DP-700 skills in depth. It's already highlighted. DP-700 shifts the focus of how do I say? Yeah, focusing on managing analytical solutions within Microsoft Fabric, and highlight also the lifecycle management, security, governance, configuration, and leveraging the Microsoft Fabric's unified ecosystem for performance optimizations. And this covers the 30% and 35% of all the exam. The second topic is ingest and transformation, which is already design and implement loading patterns like incremental loading patterns, and also monitoring is a 30 to 35% of the whole DP700 examinations certifications. So let's now talk about the Microsoft Fabric. So we are going to start with a bit of level of setting for everyone listening today. It is going to review for you about the Microsoft Fabric, what it is, why it is important. We are going to speak about the overview of the Fabric components, architecture, OneLake, data factory, data science, and also I'm going to emphasize what makes Fabric unique compared to other platforms. So let's dive in. So it's a unified, as you already know, it's a unified data platform for the era of artificial intelligence. So in today's complex world, scalable analytics is a complex, fragmented, and expensive. With Microsoft Fabric, you don't have to spend all your time combining various sources from different vendors. Instead, with Microsoft Fabric, you can use one single product that is easy to understand and set up, create, and manage. Fabric is a unified software as a service offering with all your data stored in a single one open format in one location called OneLake. So it has 6 main workloads, which are data factory, data engineering, data warehouse, data science, and RTI, which is real-time intelligence. And already everyone knows we love about the Power BI. It's a #1 business intelligence for translating data to decisions. So we are going to also have important subjects like Copilot, data agents inside the Microsoft Fabric. So let's talk about a little bit about the OneLake. So in every level, OneLake can support any type of file like Parquet, also CSV, TXT, any file you can think of. I call it structured or unstructured. So all data items, for example, in the data warehouse or Lakehouses, store their data automatically in OneLake in a special format called Delta Parquet format. So data engineers can use tools inside the Microsoft Fabric and languages of their choice to contribute to the same data in Data Lake. It is compatible with ADLS Gen 2 applications, including but not limited to such as Azure Databricks, and also you can address OneLake data externally, and it were a cross-organizational ADL, it's like a Azure ADLS storage account with workspaces offering appearing as containers and different data items appearing as folders within the containers. It's a one platform for all the data lakes, I might say. So let's talk about the modern data estate, which you can bring in all the data from anywhere. The modern business spans multiple clouds, accounts, databases, domains, and also the different engines, making it it is really hard to gain insights from all locations from your data. But with Microsoft Fabric, Brian, we have simplified how you can bring your data from OneLake to two key components: shortcuts, which is a new technology, and also another one you may familiar with, replication capability called mirroring. If you are wondering about the shortcuts are enable your data teams to visualize the data in OneLake without having to do any ETL or move to duplicate it. You can use shortcuts from warehouses, lakehouses, which spread across your different clouds, accounts, line of businesses, and domains. Also, like Azure Data Lake Storage, Amazon S3, Microsoft Dataverse, and generally available that you can use, and you don't have to move your data from external sources. And now we have mirroring inside Microsoft Fabric, and it is going to be very popular, frictionless way to manage existing cloud data. Today, you can mirror your Azure database, you can mirror your Google Cloud, GCP database, you can mirror Oracle database, you can mirror PostgreSQL databases inside Synapse Data Warehouse. It's like a Synapse Data Warehouse experience. Also, mirroring, as people know, replicates the snapshot of the databases to OneLake in stores in a format called Delta Lake tables and keeps replica in sync in real time. So that's a really good opportunity. Once the data source is attached, features like shortcuts, direct link in Power BI, in our enhanced security model, works like instantly. So soon, Microsoft enable Azure Cosmos DB, Azure SQL DB, Snowflake, and MongoDB. Customers will use the mirroring to access their data in OneLake and then can build reports in near real time. So it is going to be very important, those two subjects. So let's continue now. Let's insight a little bit about how we can manage and the Fabric environment. Before we jump into, we need to talk a little bit about the Microsoft Fabric components. Let's start with a tenant. Tenant is a special term and it's a dedicated space for organizations to create, store, and manage Fabric items. It's an often single, every company has one single tenant, but sometimes companies may have different tenants as well. And also we have capacities. It's a dedicated of resources available at any given time for the different tenants. Tenants can have more than one capacities associated with each workspaces. And domain is a special term. It's a logical group of workspaces are used to organize items in a way that makes sense of your organization. You can have domains for finance, you can have domains for human resources, you can have domains for sales. Also, you can have domains for marketing as well. It's a group of logical workspaces. And from the Power BI, everybody knows a workspace is a collection of items that brings all different items in functionality in single one tenant. And also inside the Microsoft Fabric, inside the workspaces, the last one, which is the Fabric items, building blocks of the Fabric platform. They are the objects like you create and manage inside the fabric, like Lakehouses, like pipelines, like copy jobs, etc. There are different type of items which you can start from the Microsoft Workspace. Yeah, so let's now talk about the Workspaces. The Workspace, as I already mentioned about, it's a central environment for data engineers. Workspaces is a central hub where you can store, group all your data, like notebooks, pipelines, data sets, Power BI, semantic models, are managed and shared within one Microsoft fabric. It's where I could say all activities related to data processing, storage, and analytics in one location. And you can facilitate collaboration with Microsoft Fabric, manage data access and security. So you can manage your environment. You can configure the settings of your Spark and environments, enabling effective management for your organization. You can do lifecycle management also, which is a workspaces in the lifecycle management. This is special because workspaces play a key role in managing the lifecycle of your data engineering solutions. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about continuous improvement and continuous development, which is a special topic in the exam, I would say. So also, as far as performance optimization is concerned, workspaces offer tools like monitoring, optimizing. Also, Fabric has a monitoring tab, which you can control and optimize the performance of your data pipelines, ensures all the data engine's process are efficient and scalable as possible. And there's one thing which is also the last one is the integrate with OneLake. Workspaces integrate with OneLake, and Microsoft Fabric also is a data lake, allowing seamless access to the data stored in various formats across all your workspaces inside Microsoft Fabric. Let's now focus about what's inside the Microsoft Fabric. So maybe all our people already familiar with Fabric Workspaces. It's like Microsoft Power BI, which you're already familiar with. Inside the Microsoft Fabric Workspace, we have items and folders. Everything you create for a solution will appear in the first section. This can get easily but cluttered. So therefore, Microsoft give a solution, added the ability to organize things inside the folder. This is where you create a new item. And for example, a data warehouse, you can group all your warehouses inside the folders. Also, information about your workspaces on the third section, like licensing, domains, whether there is a deployment pipeline associated with the workspace. You can see what's there in the section 3. For access management, this is the first line of defense for Fabric security, which you can control everything in the number 4, which is access management, which who is going to access the workspace, etc. And also the last but not least, workspace settings, which I'm going to talk about a little bit about details about the workspace settings now. So it's going to be a special one because Fabric Workspace settings, a little bit about the huge. You need to be, first of all, you have to be a workspace administrator to access the workspace settings. If you if you are not a workspace administrator, you cannot see all the list. Once you're here, you can control things like Azure connections. You can set up Git integrations. Also, you can configure OneLake settings as well. And also, you can create workspace identities for authentications, like network security, private endpoints, and also add monitoring for real-time monitoring to event houses to monitor workspace activity as well. And also, you can control Spark configurations. You can create a special custom pools from the workspace settings. Also, you can set a default Spark pool for the workspace, adjust compute settings for the notebooks and Spark jobs. Also, the last but not least, configure runtime settings for Apache Airflow as well. So that's the main part for a workspace administrator who can deal with special settings inside the Microsoft Fabric Workspace. So
Brad, it is. I just have a short comment here, because it is perhaps the biggest overseen part of working with Fabric. That's the workspace settings, and the questions in DP-700 is actually also focused quite a lot on the workspace settings. So all the attendees here reading this, seeing this live, seeing this on YouTube later on, please do not forget the workspace settings, because you will get questions on workspace settings. So that's also a big part of the questions in the certification. So don't forget.
Thank you, Brian, for reminding for our guests. Perfect. So let's now talk a little bit about the workspaces without further ado. Let's talk about a little bit about the data security as well. Data security in Fabric has several building blocks that can be configured individually, and which is aligned with together different access requirements. The primary access control in Fabric are the workspace roles. Also, you have admin permissions, and also inside Microsoft Fabric, we have compute or granular permissions as well. And also, it's a preview. We have OneLake data access controls as well. It's a helpful to envision these building blocks in Microsoft Fabric in a hierarchy to understand how access controls can be applied individually or together. So if you can see the image below, you have one workspace, and inside that workspace, Fabric enables you to distribute ownership and access policies using workspace roles. Within workspace, you can create Fabric data items like Lakehouses, warehouses, or event houses and semantic models. Once you create items, you have item permissions can be inherited from a workspace as well, or you can set individually by sharing an item. Also, the items are shared using with permissions when workspace roles are too permissive. So also, you can, within each data item, there's a granular engine permissions such as read data, or read all can be applied as well individually. And also, compute or granular permissions can be applied as well within this specific compute engine in Microsoft Fabric, like SQL endpoint or semantic model. So as far as security is concerned, security is super important inside the Microsoft Fabric environment, and also it's one important topic for the DP-700 certifications as well. And let's talk about a little bit about the continuous improvement and continuous development inside the Microsoft Fabric. So the final concept that I would like to mention before I give the speech to Brian is CI/CD. It's a really important topic for Microsoft Fabric, and we are going to cover in relation to the key components. So first of all, this is a critical and will be on the exam. Okay, I'm highlighting that. Remember that all assets in Fabric are housed in a workspace, and CI/CD happens inside the workspace. And this slide is just introducing the concept. We recommend you to you get familiar and the learn modules. If you would like to learn more, please look at the modules in Microsoft Learn as well. To use CI/CD in Fabric, which is the managing lifecycle of Fabric items, has two parts, Brian. First of all, integration and deployment. integration is implemented using Git. Deployment is implemented using Fabric deployment pipelines. And automation of deployment or integration is implemented using REST APIs. If you're wondering about what is Git, Git lets your team collaborate using branches and provides version control. It helps you to manage incremental code changes and see the history if you would like to retain. And deployment pipelines lets you promote charges to different environments like development, test, and production. And also, the last important topic is the Fabric REST APIs, which enables you to do automation and lets you programmatically manage your CI/CD processes as well. So that's all for me. So I'm going to speak to Brian. Thank you for everyone joining us. Can you continue, Brian?
Sure, I can, and thank you for the detailed run through of all the introduction and the whereabouts of workspaces and CI/CD inside Fabric. We had a question on the chat that someone had a direct question about how do we branch out workspaces. Well, there's a button for that directly in your workspace. You just in the CI/CD part of the workspace, you could branch out to a new workspace, give it a branch name and give it a workspace name. And Bob's your uncle. Then you have a new workspace with a new branch, and then you can work on all your items where you wanted to. So easy peasy. So let's talk a bit about how to ingest and store data inside Microsoft Fabric. We have different options. First of all, we have the Dataflows Gen 2, which is replacing Dataflows Gen 1. Right now, if you're trying to create a Dataflow Gen 1, you will be asked, hey, this might be outdated. Not that it is, but Microsoft is really trying to help you understand that Dataflow Gen 2 is way better. And as announced on FabCon in Vienna, we got a very high price deduction on running Dataflow Gen 2. So it is now a good product to use based on cost and compute. Of course, we also have data factory pipelines. We have notebooks, shortcuts. You mentioned shortcuts, Mahmud, and also mirroring. We have event streams, which is handling all the real-time data from IoT devices. And of course, we can just do a direct upload. And direct upload doesn't have to be data files. It can also be an image. It can be a Word document. It can be whatever you have. And then you can use a notebook to really work with that data in any way you want to. I'm trying to change the slide here. Nothing happens. There you go. Based on these ingestion options, we have 4 main ways of storing data. We have the Lakehouse. The Lakehouse is as the next 2 items are storing data directly in OneLake. Lakehouse is based on the Synapse engine, the old Synapse engine, and it is based on a high compute high compute cluster with the underlying Delta K files underneath. The data warehouse gives us the opportunity to also work with a SQL lookalike way of handling all your data with primary keys and all that kind of stuff. And the SQL warehouse, the SQL database is just a native SQL database inside Microsoft Fabric. And out of the box, you get OneLake availability of all that data. Event House is the proprietary storage of Microsoft Fabric, not directly storing data in OneLake. You need to enable that explicitly when you work with the Event House. Just enable the option there, and then within a few minutes, the Event House data will begin to copy out to OneLake. And just know that the copy to OneLake is not live. It has a tiny gap from when the event is happening to the save until it is saved in the Event House, and then onwards to OneLake. But that's just the way things work. With that said, of course, we can now begin to mix and match all the ingestion methods, and we can also begin to match those with the storage methods, because almost all the components can be mixed and matched accordingly on what you need. So here are some considerations that you could take into account on how do I choose the correct ingestion method and how do I choose the correct storage method. The considerations here is data volume and data type. If you have a huge amount of data volume coming in, and that data type is unstructured like a JSON object or something, I would go Lakehouse. If it is in a more tiny transaction lookalike event that has happened, but those events are coming in constantly, I would look into Event House. If it is more of a structured approach where you have a CSV file or just actually a structured data set coming in, look at the warehouse. So we have different options here. We also need to look at the ingestion frequency. How often does this come in? Because the Delta Parquet files are not very fond of tiny transactions. Then we need to go to other places like the SQL server the SQL database or Event House to handle those. And what are your skills? Do you know SQL? Do you know KQL? Do you know Python? Do you know Pandas? Do you know what coding skills do you have? And then adopt accordingly to your coding skills on the ingestion method. But some of the ingestion method like Dataflow Gen 2 and Event Stream, you don't need coding skills because that is mainly a UI approach where you use your mouse to configure your options. And then also consider the performance requirements. Do you want to ingest terabytes of data every hour? Then I wouldn't use Dataflow Gen 2 because that has a limitation, or you will just pay a lot of money to handle that compute. I would then look at pipelines or notebooks to handle that kind of volume. And do you need data transformation? Then a notebook can do everything you want to do in data transformation. Pipelines can do some of it. Event Stream can also do some of it directly in data streams coming in. And Dataflow Gen 2 can do all sorts of data transformations and also in-flight, and that is being configured by a UI, a simple UI, or if you are proficient enough by the Power Query /M code to handle that. After the ingestion method has been selected, then we are into data storage. Data storage is 4 options: Lakehouse, Warehouse, SQL Database, and Event House. And again, we need to talk about data volume and data type. Is it high volume? Is it a specific data type? Is it unstructured? Is it IoT devices? Then go to Event House. Is it just big chunks of data coming in? Look at the Lakehouse. Is it more structured? Perhaps the Warehouse. And again, what skill set do you have, both as a person and in the organization? How do you work with data? How do you want to work with it? Do you want to access the data? Excuse me, I need to cough. Do you want to access the data directly inside OneLake? Do you want to access the data from a SQL lookalike endpoint? That also have some not a limitation, but it removes some of the options for data storage if you want to use the SQL language. Security features. Do you want column level storage? Column level security. Do you want object level security? Then you are logged into Warehouse or SQL Database right now. You could do some of it on the Warehouse, but it is way easier on the Warehouse and Lakehouse. And Database, not Lakehouse. And what about integration and accessibility? How do you want to integrate with this data afterwards? I briefly talked about that just before. And latency, how much data do you want to store in this storage option? Because the Event House, yes, you can store unlimited kind of data, but do you really want to, or do you just want to store 3 months of data and then hand that over to OneLake for the rest of the history and then offload it there? All those kind of considerations needs to be taken into account when you are choosing both ingestion and data storage modes. So now we are across both ingestion and storage, but how do we actually integrate data storage inside Microsoft Fabric? We have the data factory workload with Dataflow Gen 2 and pipelines, and we have notebooks, and of course we have the real-time intelligence. The data factory workload, Dataflow Gen 2, is a UI-based approach where you configure most of it with a mouse. If you want to, you could write Power Query code directly in the UI, it's also called M code. And the pipelines is merely being given to you as an orchestrator to execute processes. It could be to execute a notebook, it could be to execute a Dataflow Gen 2 pipeline or something. Pipelines can do all those kind of things for you. It can also directly move data from A to B. If you have a structured data set or an unstructured data set, the pipeline can do a copy activity and move the data very fast from A to B inside Microsoft Fabric. Notebooks is given to you as the Swiss Army knife of everything. In notebooks, you have PySpark, you have Python, you have Spark, you have Scala, and you have R to develop all the data transformation and data handling that you want to. Real-time intelligence, well, you can integrate all your IT devices, streaming data, telemetry directly in real-time intelligence using the event stream from real-time intelligence. I'm trying to switch the slides here. Pipelines, I briefly talked about, hey, we can copy data from A to B, but we can also use it as a control flow to say, hey, if this fails, then do something. Or if this succeeds, send me an email. If this fails, start another process or start a Power Automate process and log it somewhere and send the IT department an email saying, hey, this failed, do something. Pipelines are fully parameterized and so with a parameterized approach gives you the option to build perhaps a few pipelines, 1 or 2, and then those pipelines can read various files, various sources, and store those data in various destinations. So you don't have to build a pipeline to read your customer data, to read your employment data, and to read your profit and loss data. That could be one pipeline, and then you just have it with the parameter to read specific tables and store that data in specific areas inside Microsoft Fabric. Pipeline runs can either be scheduled or it can be as clicked by a user, or you could run a pipeline from other pipelines. So you could also build a tree structure of pipelines. So you have a master pipeline, you have a child pipeline, and those child pipelines also have child pipelines, and so forth and so forth. So you could build a full orchestrating approach to integrating all your data using pipelines. When orchestrating data, you can also execute notebooks. Notebooks, you have the Spark SQL, Scala, Python, R. HTML is not a scripting language, but you could put in HTML to help readers and users understand what's happening inside this notebook. Of course, it had an integrated data processing, and it has an always, I think Microsoft calls them hot or live clusters. So when you start a notebook, the underlying compute cluster is always hot and available to you. So now it only takes 2 or 3 seconds to begin to run a notebook, as compared to Synapse, where it took around 2 or 3, perhaps up to 4 to 5 minutes to start that underlying cluster and give you the compute power. Now that compute power is available to you. And we also saw some big announcement in FabCon Vienna about more clusters being made available to us. So Fabric notebooks can be, of course, scheduled and automated. We can also script those using the Fabric CLI that you just talked about, Mahmud, using the CI/CD approach. And directly inside notebooks, we have options to do data exploration and visualization using the power of the PySpark language, where we can do general statistics on the data. We can visualize the data. Perhaps we are proficient in Plotly. That's which is a Python add-on, where you can begin to visualize your data quite easily. Directly in notebooks, we can do machine learning and AI, of course, and the underlying engine behind these notebooks are the Spark engine, which we can also handle with standardized libraries to be added in a notebook, so we don't have to add them manually all the time, and we can create environments to do to create all those kinds of configurations for us, so the end user don't have to figure those out themselves. I don't know why I have to click these twice, so I'm sorry for changing slides slow. In Fabric Real-Time, in Fabric Real-Time Intelligence is a suite within the suite of services inside Microsoft Fabric. It contains of event stream to handle your ingestion and transformation, and the event stream is a UI-based configuration where you do most of the things with your mouse. You can configure things. You also now have the availability to do a SQL statement as adopted from the Azure Streaming Analytics. So now in event stream, we can choose either just the mouse or writing our own SQL code. When the event stream has been processing all the data, we store that in the event house. That's just a database inside Fabric, storing your IoT devices, telemetry, messaging, types of data. I tend to call it data in motion. So if you have data in motion, look at the event house. It might be a good candidate for you to store that data there. In order to handle your queries for when you are manipulating your data inside the event house, we have the KQL query set. It's just a notebook for your code. It doesn't do anything by itself. Look at it more as a notebook, not an executable notebook, but a notebook / notepad, just to hold your scripts for you to reuse and save. Talking about KQL queries, then behind the scenes of real-time dashboards is KQL queries. So when you're proficient enough to write your KQL queries, you can add one line of code, then that visualizes that data set in a bar chart, a column chart, a line chart, whatever chart you want, and then you can put those visualizations directly in a real-time dashboard for an additional insights as a value-adding service to Power BI, because Power BI and real-time dashboards are not competing. They are just different services from Fabric to give you different options to visualize your data. Real-time dashboards is more or less live as it can be, where Power BI has a latency based on the data load you get from your sources. Last but not least, we have Activator, where we can outsource the person looking at the screen, reacting to when the peaks come or when the data doesn't come, and then Activator can handle all those reactions for you automatically. You just set it up, you give it the threshold, or you give it the, if no data has arrived within the last 5 minutes, do something, and that something can be send me an email, send me a Teams message, start Power Automate, or do something else, and then you can actually begin to outsource all the data awareness to Data Activator and have that handle that for you. Quite amazing. So prepare for the exam day. We talked about all the things about Fabric, workspaces, CI/CD, workspace monitoring, ingestion, storage. How do we handle all these kind of things? So the exam day is a special day for me. For the first time, like many years ago, it was a special day to go for the exam, because that was, at that point in time, I had to go to an office and they had to scan me and I had to show my IDs and all that kind of stuff. I think today that's online. So you do it back home in your own surroundings, but you have to be in a quiet room and don't be disturbed, because if you get disturbed during your exam, the proctoring, the live proctors will give you a warning, and then if you don't do something about it, just you out. So prepare for the exam day, gets hands-on experience. This hands-on experience is crucial to get to know Microsoft Fabric. You can read books, you can read blogs, you can read all those kinds of amazing content online, you can watch this video, but that does not give you enough content and hands-on experience to actually pass the exam. Because the questions for DP-700, I'm sorry for my wordings, but it is a beast. The questions there, it is trying to find all the quirky corners of Microsoft Fabric, and then we create questions for you to have not difficulties answered, but we are trying to figure out, do you really know your way around Fabric, and how does Fabric actually work? So do what you can with all the prep resources that you have. You have the QR code here where you get some of them. You can complete the Microsoft Learn modules, and you can do the practice assessment. A big note here is the practice assessment is not as difficult as the real exam. So just know the practice assessment is giving you a guidance on which areas do you want to, or do you need to read more on. And then the actual DP-700 exam questions are a level up. It is
a bit level up, yeah.
Exactly. So on this slide, we have a few links. We have both the ak.ms/dp700/prepare. That gives you some preparations, and you also have all the Microsoft Learn modules. You have blogs from MVPs, from Microsoft, from other content creators that are trying to help you understand, how do I pass an exam from Microsoft? Because it is a special environment. The questions are in a special character. The wordings there are also quite, if you haven't seen them before, they can be quite intimidating. But rest assured, if you know your way around Microsoft, if you know your way around all the workloads, all the storage options, the ingestion options, and how to handle your workspaces in the workspace settings, then you are on a very, very good path to pass your DP-700 exam. And don't miss out on October 28, where we have this big Q&A for the exam prep. Just ask any questions you might have. No questions are too silly. Just ask them and they will be answered accordingly in this live session. Perhaps not live on screen, but at least in the chat as you are. I see the chat online is really, really live and vigorous. I love it. Just keep on coming with all your questions. We will try to answer them accordingly as soon as we can. The next session is next week on Tuesday, where we will talk about ingest and transform data. I don't remember who's there online, but it will be a session just like this one. With we have two proctors handling your online questions, and we have two speakers, not Mahmud and I, but other people. But Mahmud, when I have you live here, what is your favorite part of Fabric?
My favorite part of is Lakehouses, Brian. So my favorite part is Lakehouses. And also, I would like to ask you a question. You mentioned about the T-SQL in the real-time intelligence. I guess you can query T-SQL instead of custom query language. Is that correct?
Oh yes, you can actually use the T-SQL language to query your custom query database. You don't get the same performance. Sorry, you don't get the same experience on the data handling using T-SQL. But yes, you can use T-SQL against your event house and KQL databases.
Also, I would like to ask you one important question on behalf of audiences as well. It's about the real-time intelligence. So do you prefer as a storage custom query database or Lakehouses for real-time intelligence?
It actually depends on the usage, because I really, really love real-time intelligence. I love to speak about it. I love to do blogs about it. But it depends on your use case, because real-time intelligence is built for fast ingestion for IT devices, messaging, telemetry, all that kind of stuff, whereas Lakehouse is more built for large volumes and continuous integration with those large data. But with that question, that reminds me, Mahmud, do you remember if DP-700 has hands-on labs or not?
Yes, I remember.
Does it?
Yes. No. It's not on the hands-on lab. It's not on the hands-on lab. It's on KQL custom query database, KQL database.
Yeah, and when you are running down the DP-700 exam, you only get questions. You are not enforced to log into a virtual environment and do hands-on labs. It's questions only, and it is all kinds of multiple option questions where it might not seem as a multiple choice, but behind the scenes, it's actually just a multiple choice question in a different format. So it's only questions. You don't have to write code. You don't have to click the right places on the portal. It's just questions that you can answer. There might be some images where we have what we call hot areas, where with your mouse you click the areas you want to click for doing stuff. But that's very, very seldom that we find those. So if you get one of those, buy yourself a t-shirt, because you are one of the few to get one of those questions with an image. Give it that time.
One also, I think there are drag and drops questions as well on the exam.
There are drag and drop questions, and behind the scenes, that's actually just a multiple choice question. But yes, there are drag and drop questions where you will build a code segment, and that code segment is perhaps you get 8 building blocks, and you need to use 5 of them in the correct order, and that is also a question type that you will get. But behind the scenes, that is still just a multiple choice. Time is running very, very fast, so we must highlight that next week on Tuesday we'll talk about ingest and transform data. Thursday we will talk about monitor and optimize your solution, and the week after, prepare for exam day and open QA. Be there all 4 times. Now you just did the first one, so you only need to plan the next 3. go to aka.ms/dp700/EMEA, and then you will find all the sign up forms right there. The next slide is just to highlight, hey, we still have the 50% discount for both exam PL300, DP-600, and DP-700. This offer expires November 3rd, so don't be late. And for the live attendees, you will get a different kind of gift on the chat. And Mahmud, will you be in FabCon Atlanta?
Yes, I will be there. I will. Right. Yeah, I will be weighing all the attendees from Atlanta who is going to attend in FabCon. So I will be waiting there. Absolutely.
Perfect. And you can get a $200 discount by using the code FabLive on ak.ms/FabCon. And don't miss out on the Fabric Skills Fest. It starts November 4th, right after the offer expires for the 50% discount at ak.ms/Fabric Skills Fest. And last but not least, do we have any questions that we could pop up live and answer directly here on the live feed? I hope so. If not, then Mahmud, I would like to say a huge thank you for attending. We have done this. This is our second time now, I guess. Together?
Yeah, this is our second time. Yeah.
Perfect. I really like it all the time, and also a huge thank you to Frank and Charlie online. They have done a tremendous job to
thank you, Charlie,
answer all the questions. Yeah. And don't forget the special gift you have on the chat to get more discount on your exam modules. If anything else, I see a lot of thank you on the screen right here. And if nothing else, I would like to say a huge thank you to all attendees. Thank you to Frank and Charlie, and thank you to you, Mahmud, and thank you for the organizers of this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we are off.